everybody, how's it going? Dan Shander here. I'm Drum Talk TV, and I'm here with a great buddy of mine from the East Coast of the U.S. I'm on the West Coast. This is Andrew McAuley.
How's it going, everybody? How you doing?
And Andrew and I met through, I'm going to be a little vague about this if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
Not that it's anything weird. Well, it's a little weird, but we
drum related, it's always weird, you know?
We met through a cymbal company that for now will go unmentioned, but I saw Andrew's playing, and then we became friends on Facebook, and then I started watching what he's doing for his own business, which is called Kind Beats.
Yeah.
And what's funny is that I interviewed Mickey Mashivovitz earlier from Disgruntled Beats. So now we're with so now we're with Andrew McAuley of Kind Beats.
Competition, man. It's just the polar opposite.
Exactly. Now, as a lot of people know, I'm really into music education.
Yeah.
This is going to go in the Master Educator series on our website. Tell everybody what you're doing with Kind Beats.
Yeah. Well, basically, I just tried to spread basically a word of originality or creativity and trying to do your own thing. So I started posting lessons. At first, that's what I started doing, was posting lessons that would focus on basically topics that I didn't think were being discussed a lot, more about like creativity and feel, developing your own voice, and because there's so many great educators out there right now that are, you know, breaking down things so well. You know, that I feel like it's just getting rehashed over and over.
You mean like from the academic standpoint?
Yeah, you know, so I feel like, you know, I'd rather bring it from a different background and give people more of a raw, loose, kind of organic, you know, thing going on, and you know, show them the other side of the spectrum a bit, you know, that it's not, you don't have to go buy a book necessarily or buy a DVD. You can, you know, there's other ways. You can find inspiration in, you know, other places, and, you know, so stuff like that.
Who makes up your audience base as far as like, I guess, what are the demographics basically of who you market to and who is tapping into you?
Well, I mean, my goal is, when I try to market something, I'm not trying to limit it to drummers. I'm obviously trying to get drummers' attention because those people are the ones that are going to understand the language that we speak, you know, the same vernacular. But you know, as far as like the people I'm trying to reach, it's anybody really that's interested in learning more about, you know, about percussion or drums or just expression in general, you know, just learning to, you know, express yourself in their own way. So it's mainly people that from young to old that are just open-minded and just kind of looking for, you know, something new, or, you know, something to inspire them to try something different, you know?
Right. Now that's great. What about styles? Are you in certain genres? Do you cross teach?
Yes. I teach just about everything. I think as a teacher, you always have to be a student. And I know that's said all the time, you know, but it's the truth. It's not cliche. It's the truth. And so I try to listen to and learn as many different things as possible. So I like to try and teach as many different things as possible. I'm open to teaching people just about anything, you know. There's one or two, like style-wise, my specialty a lot of times is like drum and bass and like funk, Afro-Cuban, Brazilian kind of stuff. Like a lot of like world rhythms. I hate generalizing them. That's simple, like world rhythms, you know. But the only thing I don't really do a lot of teaching of is like extreme metal and stuff like the chop stuff right now. It's not that I can. It's that it's just not where my bread and butter is. I know people that can teach it better than me. So
gotcha.
You know, I leave it for them, you know.
Yeah, that's really cool. When you are not teaching and you're in your studio at home and you're set up, what do you like to sit down and do for your own, and I don't even mean to learn when you're in your own learning mode, but just for your own enjoyment as a drummer and percussionist, what do you like to do the most?
Oh man, yeah. Oh man, for me, it's the first thing I like to do whenever I sit down is kind of try and play a solo of sorts. Like one of my mentors was Billy Martin from Medeski Martin and Wood, and he's been my biggest inspiration over the years. And something that he used to stress was whenever you sit down, the first thing you should try to do is say something on the instrument, anything, you know. It could be like, you know, you could play 2 notes, or you could sit there and you can, you know, go chop crazy, whatever it is that you want to do. but I like to sit there and just try to say something, get into, you know, a certain type of zone or a mind state, and then from there it's whatever's, you know, whatever's working at my, you know, pulling at my strings at the time. It's usually ostinato-based stuff. I like to work a lot with like independence and having things go over other things and, you know, take things out and then back. And
so
you know,
you work with a lot of polyrhythms and syncopation.
Yeah, you know, I don't really go out of books as much as it is like just an idea. Like, you know, I'll have an idea to try something and I'll write it out maybe so that I can visualize it better. And you know, but usually it's sit there and try and get into a nice zone, and that's if I'm just in playing mode and having fun mode. I try to just stay in that zone and then start to explore things and maybe set something up that I don't normally have set up on my drum set and try and use that. It's just about you know, for me when I'm playing, it's about discovering things. I'm not into you know, blowing the wad on the instrument, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Well, I've seen you do some solo stuff. I remember seeing some video. You were in the studio behind some glass. Man, I remember how tight that room looked too.
Yeah, oh, I know. Yeah, I know. Yes, I do. Yeah, I think it's I was tracking with a guitar player, I believe, at Blast Off Studios in Manhattan.
Right.
Shout out to Josiah and Demas at Blast Off. Yeah, we were working on some. That was actually a like a people call it like techie or like math metal stuff right now. I don't know what the hell people call things. I'm not, you know, I'm not.
It's music. It's all music.
I'm not into the genre, you know, like the classifying things. It's just.
And you know what?
Music.
That's a great teaching point, Andrew, because when we break down, yeah, we got to categorize so we know where to get it at the record store. Are there any record stores anymore?
No,
so you know how to look it up online, anyways. Yeah. But when you break down in your mind, you break down those walls that categorize. That's when you realize that. I just interviewed Nico McBrain, and let's say you're a big Iron Maiden fan and you want to work on your drum chops. There's so much you can learn from watching Nico play, but if you go and buy some music that you've always been adverse to, maybe it's a Christina Aguilera album, maybe it's Brian Setzer, maybe it's Jerry Lee Lewis, expose yourself to things pretending that there are no categories or titles or anything like that, because even if you're adverse to that artist or that music, if you're smart enough to open your mind and hone in on what the drummer is doing, you're going to find out that a lot of the languages are not only the same, but they're taking tools from the same toolbox.
Absolutely.
And music really is simply universal language, even though there's different dialects.
Oh yeah, no, this man speaks the truth. Very, very much so. Yeah, you know, it's a language, it's a culture, it's a whole different thing, and to separate things by titles and by saying, well, that's jazz, so I'm not going to listen to that. I don't want anything to do with that because I like metal.
Which would be crazy, first of all.
Right. You know, yeah, right. But in all honesty, you know, like, and this is actually a big lesson that I teach almost all my students, and it's one that I have a lesson on it online. Is, you know, it's not about sitting there and becoming like a, you know, you don't have to go play African music or Afro-Cuban music to understand clave, you know, clave rhythms and stuff like this. Like, you know, I've heard some amazing metal drummers play patterns while they're playing. They have no idea that what they're playing is a 3/2 clave or a 6/8 clave variation. They're playing things that are from, you know, the roots, you know, African rhythms and stuff that they thought they would never be interested in. And never, but you're playing that stuff. It's already, our vernacular is built off of that. That is the basis of everything. So I find it funny, you know, when people are like, well, I'll learn this genre and this genre, but, oh, well, no, I'm not polka.
But they're playing
it. Know, like, I'm not into polka. It's like, oh, neither am I, man. But you know what? Polka learning that, you might be able to apply something. Maybe a little riff or something, or a lick that you had to pick up to play it genuinely, you know? By the way, I don't know genuine polka. I'm sorry. I don't mean, I like to practice what I preach, so I don't know polka, but I don't diss it either.
A style of music I've listened to lately is Dixieland, New Orleans Dixieland, because I interviewed Bobby Morris, and so he gave me a CD and a vinyl record. I don't know where he got that from, but yeah, exactly. Well, I actually still have a record player, believe it or not.
We're a dying breed.
Yeah, but I put on this Dixieland music. It is just such happy hands music, man. Absolutely. The shuffle is all over that. Absolutely. The articulation of loose rudiments, just beautiful stuff. So expose yourself to things that you may have been previously adverse to, and you'd be surprised what you're going to put in your toolbox to pull out of, regardless of the style of music that you play. And tap into kind beats. All of Andrew's information is right here on the screen. You see that? It's right there. So tap in, check him out. Yeah, we'll be sharing some of his videos on our other site, Dan's Drum Clinics. And thank you so much for joining us.
Oh man, thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure, you know. And thank you guys for watching and listening.
Yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Dan Chinder here with Andrew McAuley on Drum Talk TV.
Be good.